Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to this episode of Danyelle Speaks. We're going to come from the prospect of an introvert, and and you already see her today. My special guest is Tomica. So welcome everyone. Welcome Tomica. Hello there. Hello there.
Oh, thank you for having me.
No, thank you for accepting the invitation. Like I have been watching your videos for a while now. And it was funny because it was like I was watching your videos and everything you were saying, I was like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Um, so to see someone who was able to visualize and vocalize the things that I was feeling, I was like, and then I was looking at the comments and I was like, ooh, I really am not the only one. Got like there's other people who feel the same way. So thank you. Thank
Well,
you for posting.
you know what? You're welcome. And this is so odd because I have been using TikTok, as a user or consumer for a couple of years. I never thought about ever like actually putting my face to something, and I thought about starting a T-shirt brand, and which I'm still going to do. But I'm having so much fun, expressing myself. It's
Yeah.
almost a form of like therapy.
Yeah.
And um, I'm just really at times taken aback at the amount of responses and positive comments that I get in my comment section. I probably
Hmm.
only had like one negative comment the whole time, but I was like, okay. But it's so nice to know that it's not just you, because I feel like
Yes.
as Black
Yes.
women, especially Black women, we almost get put in this box, even
Hmm.
with like TV or other media forms on, we're not allowed to be awkward. We're not allowed to be, slightly withdrawn or quiet. We're always categorized into something else. And I'm really surprised at the response that I've gotten from it.
I tell you, yeah, I'm gonna jump into some things that I've seen you post,
Okay.
and it's funny because it's things that I've said to people, and people were like, "Oh, well, that's just an excuse," and I'm like, "You don't get it. Like you don't get it," and people would try to force you to do things in order to make them comfortable or to make it make sense to them.
Right.
And I've had to learn how to navigate around that. Um, so one thing is that people say that we come off as stuck up or standoffish
Hmm.
when sometimes in situations they don't understand. In our minds, we're just looking for an exit plan. We're looking for an exit route. Like we're not being standoffish, that we're trying to figure out ways in our minds how to get out of the conversation. And you kind of like have addressed that. So help us out on that.
Well, I know for me, I don't know that I necessarily want to get out of the conversation, but like the awkward parts of the conversation or the really like intrusive part of the conversations that I feel
Hmm.
aren't really necessary. Yes, I do like to run from those because it just feels like we're always expected to respond or act or be a certain way, even in the workplace. You know,
Mm.
when you're Black and when you're an introvert, especially, you get mislabeled a lot. And because I feel like a lot of people expect for Black women to be, really extra and in your face and very flamboyant. And then when you're not that, they say, oh, well, she's stuck up, or she doesn't like to talk to people, or
Yeah.
she thinks she's better than everybody because of that. She doesn't want to engage. And a lot of times we're just overstimulated, and it takes a while, at least for me, to process things and really feel people out to even know, like,
Yeah.
is this somebody that I want to engage with, and
Yeah.
give my energy to. And so that's kind of the hard part about it, and people not understanding that is what I feel
Yeah.
that makes it difficult.
And I think even within the confines of engaging with people, like we only have so much energy for so much stuff. So when you have 9, 10, 11, 12 people throughout the day who's like, okay, well, tell me about yourself. Well, tell me, what do you do? And tell you, like, we only have so much energy to tell so many people. So when people ask us questions, I feel like we're evaluating, is this somebody who even needs to know all that information? Like,
That's
if I tell you that information, what do you, why do you even want to know the information? So it comes off as if we're guarded, and it's like, you don't understand. By me answering their question, it's draining me. And I think also that person thinks that they're the only one that's asking us questions.
right.
Throughout that day, it's like, well, why are you doing that? Like, I only asked you a question. I'm like, but you're not the only one who's asking that question. So now I'm tired. Like, I'm mentally tired, and I'm spiritually drained. But you're thinking it's just you. Like, oh, it's
Mhm.
just me. I'm just, why come? Baby, we only have so much energy throughout the day, and you may be sucking all the energy that we need in order to complete another task. So it's not that we're guarded; is that we're learning how to navigate how much energy we can expend. We have to space it out throughout our day, throughout our week, so that we don't collapse into pure exhaustion by the end of the week.
Right. Because that's definitely how, introverts get their energy is from regrouping and that alone time to kind of sort through things. Or as some people might say, overthink things, but I don't really think of it that way. But
Yeah,
yeah, we do need that alone time. And I think a lot of people on the outside assume that when you're an introvert, you're shy, or you don't like people, or you don't like talking, and that's really not it. You just, like you said, you have to find ways to conserve your energy so that you can function throughout the
yeah,
day. And so yeah, I mean, I think I'm shy? I might be shy in certain circumstances, but and even my husband is like, well, how are you able to make videos? And I'm like, well, it's a very introverted concept when you think about it.
yeah,
Because I
yeah,
usually nobody's at home, and I can just turn my camera on, and I could just be me.
yeah,
And so when you think about it, content creation is really a very introverted concept.
yeah.
So
Yeah, like you said, there's no one asking you questions about it. There's no one who you have to direct, or they're trying to direct you. You just set it up and you just go with it. So it's not necessarily energy
right, yeah,
draining
right, because
to
I
do
you
that.
have the control on you have the control. If I want to
Yeah,
turn it on, I can. If not, I don't have to turn it on, and I don't have extra eyes or anything, or anybody thinking or trying to process what is going on someplace else. So I think it's a very introverted concept, and I think that even with TikTok, you know being introverted, I think, has probably come more to the forefront because nobody really had those types of discussions before. But as you get to see content and you see other people, you start realizing, okay, that person is dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with. I didn't know. And I think that's the
yeah,
beauty in social media, or at least that particular platform, is the connections that you can make with people, and people that you've never met or never talked to before.
yeah, yeah. And in that, I'm going to say something that just comes to my mind. Some people may not agree. This is just an opinion, a fun opinion at that. I'm beginning to think that introverts make the best creatives. Why? Because we live in our heads a lot.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
we are thinking of scenarios that didn't happen, ain't gonna happen, possibly could happen, just happened. We're
Yes.
reliving it. Like we're in our heads so much. I'm beginning to think that introverts
Yes.
make them creative.
Yes. And it's funny because I'm in a group. I'm in a group that it's like a business school, where you learn kind of the ins and outs of business and marketing, things like
Yeah.
that. People, oh, they have such a hard time coming up with content. I'm like, I have, you know, the movie is already played out in my mind months.
Yes.
So
Yes. The whole movie.
it's all a movie. Yeah, I mean, yes,
Yeah.
those are thoughts that I've already had and acted out and thought about, and the characters have already had their times and plots in my story. So,
Exactly. But then on the other hand, the challenge of that is making our creations come to life. Because then, you know, if you have to take on the perspective of now you have to direct people, which means now you have a group of people and you have to direct this person to do that, this person to do that, and trying to explain to them, okay, why this concept is that. The problem is that it does drain us so much to where we've played the screen A through Z, and we're in numerical numbers. It takes us so long to get that out when we have to convey that to others.
Yes, because I did one with my husband, and I was like, "Sir, I need for you just do this. You're making this hard."
Right? Is that the one that you did where you pulled up and you were like
Yeah,
when you only have like one person you really talk to and you haven't talked to in a while? I
yeah,
love that one because I was like, that's so accurate. Like we have like two, three people that we talk to, and when they fall off, it's like, okay, who are we supposed to talk to? Like, why y'all busy? Like,
yeah, yeah,
I don't have nobody else to talk to. Where y'all
yeah,
at?
yeah. The audacity. But yes, I was just like, "Sir, what did this is not hard."
Jesus. Another misconception that people have about introverts is that we are aggressive, meaning people will ask us a question, and because again we only have so much energy, we'll just cut to the chase. We won't try. Sometimes we won't even try to come up with reasons. It's like, do you want to? No, I don't. Why? I don't want to. I mean, I literally just want to do some things myself. And it comes off as being aggressive. It's like, why are you so aggressive? I'm like, well, how do you want me to tell you no? Like, is there a gentler way to say no that will help you accept my no? But people think that we are talking at them versus having a conversation with them.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And I never thought of it that way, but that's very accurate. It's almost like I don't want to spend the time explaining the no. It's just no. It's no in Spanish, you know, it's no in English. It's no, it probably, it's similar to that in German. Like it's all no, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
I, so I don't understand that concept either. It's like I don't want to over explain to get to the no. Like the no is just there. And it's not that I'm trying to be curt or rude at
yeah,
times. It's just that I mean it's no. It's no. I didn't like that question. So this is my response, and my response is just going to be basic because there's not a whole lot of in between. And I think that one thing about introverts that people fail to realize is that even though we may come off as guarded or emotionless, there's a lot of emotions under the
oh
surface.
my
And
lord,
a lot of times I have to revert back into myself or retreat into myself to keep those emotions from bubbling out. Um,
yeah,
so a lot of times that's me. I don't know if it's a defense mechanism at times, but it's trying to keep that equilibrium to where I could still function and still be able to deal with people without giving them what might be boiling under the surface. That is my only
yeah,
way to keep it together. I really
yeah,
try, to not do that, to not engage, but sometimes people, they just don't understand.
yeah. Because and honestly, we're very passionate people. Like when we believe in something, we believe in it wholeheartedly. So sometimes in our response, it comes off as, oh my goodness, they've had so much bottled up, and it's like we're very. You think it's emotional, but then not emotional. But then when we talk to you, we talk with so much passion. People are like, well, oh my goodness, where'd that come from? Like, who
Mhm.
hurt you? And it's like, I'm not saying that anybody hurt me. It's just that I'm passionate about what I'm saying to you. Like
Right.
if I'm conveying to you my no isn't because I've been hurt. My no is because, I told you no, you didn't get it. Now, because you didn't get it, I have to expound on my no. And number one, I don't feel I should have to. I feel that you should respect that if I say no or if I say I don't like this, just like if you were to say no, if you were to say you didn't like something, I would respect that. But because it's me and I say no and I don't like it, and then all of a sudden I have to give you some other explanation, I may talk and be passionate about it. It doesn't mean that I'm hurt. It doesn't mean that I'm troubled. It's just that we're passionate about what we think, about how we feel, about just the way we convey stuff, and people have a tendency to take that totally the wrong way. So then, like you said, now you got to pull back. You know what I'm saying? You pull back, and people think, oh, well, now they're going back in that hole. They're going back and being guarded. And it's like, you guys don't understand. We're trying to make a balance. We're trying to create that balance. But when our answers aren't what you expect,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it hard for us to find that balance in order to have a conversation, just a simple conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard out here for introverts.
I would say so.
It's
A
hard.
very from
Um, I,
misunderstanding.
it was very misunderstood. In fact, I saw a TikTok from a lady who posted. It was like extroverts equals something else. Introverts equals something else, and she had like four key points. But what stood out to me is she said the word introvert means traumatized. Means that if you are introvert, that means you grew up in trauma. I myself, I don't believe that.
Mm.
Um, because some people are just natural extroverts, like they're just outgoing,
Yeah.
and they are extroverted. They never know a stranger, but I know some extroverts who grew up with a whole lot of trauma, and they're vocal about it. So I don't know how she got that concept that just because you're introvert, it's because it's trauma. But that was one of the things she posted, and I went in the comments and people were like, "Yeah, you know, that makes sense. They are traumatized. That's why they don't like to speak to people. That's why they don't like to talk to people." And I'm like, "You guys are really trying to figure it out." And what I think is funny about that, Tamika, is that they're trying to figure out instead of listening to what we're saying.
Right.
Like we're being very forthcoming in what we're saying, but it's like you guys don't want to accept our answer, so now you're trying to figure it out. When I'm like, I told a friend of mine the other day, I said, really, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not that deep. If I'm telling you something, you can kind of pretty much take it for face value.
Right. No. And I think to further even dive into that, I think that as with a lot of things, some things are created that
Hmm.
way or made that way, I should say, and some things are made that way in reaction to. So I think maybe some people are introverted and have withdrawn because of trauma, because of, abuse, and maybe they just have, just retreated within themselves. But then I think there are people, like you said, that are just naturally quiet people that that's just how they get their energy, and I think you to categorize or try to group everybody into one specific
Yes.
thing. I think that almost does it's overgeneralizing, and it almost does a disservice, because even I think there's like four different types of introverts, the personality types, and so even though you
Do
may
you
have,
do you know those right off the top of your head? Can you expound on those for us?
I'm going to have to look those up, but I know one of them is INTJ. And I know that there's four different, and I should have written that down. Um, but yeah, there's four different types of them.
Hmm. And you, I do believe, yeah, you did touch on this on one of your videos. It's like, again, we may come off guarded, but then when we sit down and we know that we have like a common interest with someone, as long as it's in like a condensed version, man, we can clown and have fun all
Yes.
day. But if it's more of in a group setting, to whereas even though we may find that one person that we connect with, if there's still like 20, 25 people around, we still may not be as outgoing. You know, we're interject here and there, but when you get us on a one-on-one or two-on-one where the group is smaller, we have
Hmm.
a tendency to be able to engage a lot more. And I
Yes.
think what happens, the misconception is that people are like, well, if you're like that with one-on-one, well, why can't you be like that in a room full of 40 people?
And so, to answer the question, one little part of it, and I should have written this down, and I meant to last night. But there's four different types. Can you still see me?
Yep,
And
absolutely.
you have your social introvert, you have your thinking introvert, you have your anxious introvert, and you have your restrained introvert.
Mm,
And they're all different, and they all kind of fall into different categories. But the main takeaway is that regardless of the type of category, the one thing that is consistent is that they all need, or we all need, that recharge time, that social downtime in order to continue to function.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's just a part of who we are. I mean, it is what it is, and I've had to tell friends, it's like if you see to whereas we're in a group and I have a lot of high energy, and this is going to lead me into another point
Hmm.
because you did a video again where you had these quotes that people say to introverts, and one of the quotes was, "Why don't you try to be like everyone else? Like, why don't you try to blend in?" And what some people don't get is that even when we try, please understand that that takes a lot of energy out of us to do that. Like when we're trying to bring it and be the life of the party, then just know after that we're exhausted. I can only give you that much energy for so long before now I'm tired. Like I need to go rest. So within that comment, I think sometimes we try, like sometimes we'll try. We'll try to, as they say, blend in or be like everyone else. But we're taking on something that's not necessarily natural to who we are.
Right.
But then people come to expect it. They're like, oh, last time you was this, or they'll see you and they'll elbow you. Well, what's wrong with you? Nothing. I'm tired.
Right. Right. And that's what the most common form of introversion is, and that's the social introvert. And so a lot of us do have to be social when we go to work or when we go to parties or when we go and deal with people. And so that's
Yeah,
the most common type is that you're going, you're social, but then once it's over and done with, like you're over and done with.
that's it. That's it.
Right.
It's like
And
you gotta give me a minute.
mhm. And then, yeah, and then with the thinking introvert, those are the people that say, "Oh my God, I overthink everything. I can't, I don't know." And I think it's possible to even have, even if you fall under one category of that, to even have traits of the other ones as well. I think that, several
Absolutely.
can exist at one time.
And give expound on the last two
The last two,
introverts.
the anxious introvert, and that's somebody that can genuinely feel unsettled in social gatherings, even when alone. And then the restrained introvert. And so with those two, let's see. So with the restrained introvert, they don't like to show their cards up front and they're really guarded at first. The anxious introvert, they feel unsettled in gatherings and even when alone, and they may genuinely suffer from social anxiety. And I think that I'm kind of a mix between the first one and the anxious introvert because I do have a lot of social anxiety that I joke about a lot of times in my content because I'm always thinking, okay, what are they thinking? Am I looking awkward? Am I doing something awkward? Am I standing weird?
Yeah.
Did I say that sentence right? So yes. So
Hmm.
I can definitely get with both of those categories that fall under the introversion.
I think I'm all for. I think I am all for, especially if I have to go into a gathering where I'm already tired and I'm not fully recovered. I can go into that gathering and now the anxiety kicks in because I
Mhm.
haven't had enough time to recharge. So I'm sitting there trying not to panic because it's overload. It's like sensory. It's literally sensory overload. There's too
Yes.
many people talking. There's too many people having these conversations, and I'm like, I just need to be by myself in a quiet place. So that's why I say I think I'm a blend of all four because it depends on if I've had enough time
Right.
to recharge.
Right.
Because if not, it can definitely be really bad.
Right.
Um, and again, that's another thing that people don't understand about giving us enough time. Now, with that being said, we can pull away with the person that's closest with us and still recharge. Like it's not a thing necessarily where we have to be like in a room by ourselves, lights off, type type of thing. But the person who's close to us that we love and that we trust, we honestly can recharge. And sometimes it's even better to recharge with that person
Right.
that you trust because they can help in the recharging process.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And that was one thing that I wanted to touch on with one of my last videos was that even though I do enjoy my alone time, I still have my people that I
Mhm.
still want to hear from and I still want to be around. You know,
Mhm.
it is definitely you're able to recharge even with somebody that's around that understands that you need that downtime.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. You touched on a couple more things that I want to do, but real quick, I want to take a quick break. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show some of my favorite uh,
Oh, okay.
TikTok videos from you,
Okay.
just so other people can know what it is that you do. So you guys are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back uh, with Tamisha, the selective social. I like that. Like,
Oh,
and
well,
we're
thank
going to get more into that
you.
towards the
Okay.
end of the show, you guys. So hang out and get you something to drink, and we'll be right back.
Speak up when I hop about the cut, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about the cut, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about the cut, I promise I'm gonna make a scene. Got
Can we just do it again without the negative saying that you don't like the tour? Just
I
'cause
don't like it though.
I know, but you say this
I
is.
go through
But what is it setting
hell.
up though? I don't
No,
understand.
but
I go
because,
through
you know,
hell
the whole
touring.
behind thing I love
Okay, then
about touring is that
I'll make it positive then.
Yeah, it's just.
For you know the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you-
and action, Michael.
I love to tour.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you love those videos just as much as I did. Like I said, when I saw them, I was like, "Oh my goodness, a woman after my own heart." Like she's expressing what I'm feeling in a way that's comical yet serious. I mean, because you do see the serious side of it, of things that we go through internally. And speaking of eternally, it's funny because I met a young lady while I was out on the road this summer, and I tell people these things and they think that I'm joking. So to see someone who was like just exactly like me, I was like, OMG. But she was asking me some questions about some things that I did, and when I responded, she froze and she tilted her head to the side, and I just laughed and I smiled and I laughed at her because I knew exactly what was going on, and I said something that I kind of blew it off. And she came back the next day and she said, Danielle, I want to apologize for freezing. It's just your answer caught me off guard. And I was having these communications in my head, like towards we were still conversating, and I was trying to work it out. And I laughed at her. I was like, you don't have to explain to me because I got it. Like I said, when I saw the expression come over your face, I understood. I said, because sometimes with introverts, it does come off as being socially awkward because someone may ask us something and in our minds we're having the conversation and we're trying to figure out what we should say, how the person would respond, what they would say, and to us what may be a second or two to them it's like 5-10 minutes. And I know I've had some times where people have walked off, and then I will play the scene in my mind, and I'm like, yeah, that's a good response right there. That's what I should say. And I'll go and I'll tap them on the shoulder, and I'll give them the scenario I practiced in my head, and they look at me like, okay, I said that 30 minutes ago. Like, why are you even telling me that? Like,
Yes, the mental rehearsal is real. It's real.
yes, yes. So it comes off as so socially awkward, and we're not trying to be like that. You know, it's just for some reason we just have this weird way of processing things,
Yeah.
um, and being mindful of what we say. You know.
Yeah. And I think that the thing about being or feeling socially awkward is probably that I don't know how much of it is actually being projected versus how much of it is actually me overthinking what is
Yes.
actually happening in the scenario. You know, like that person may not even think, oh, she's, awkward or not having
Exactly.
to tell me that, but in certain situations, that may not even be what's going on. But in my mind, because of past situations, past, conversations that I have had, like those things are still replaying in my mind during those social interactions.
Um, and I think sometimes we find ourselves apologizing a lot because people don't fully understand, which goes back to why I want to thank you for doing your videos, because it's helping a lot of people understand what it is that we go through on a day-to-day basis, processing, dealing, um, things that people say to us that again we internalize. Like we internalize. Sometimes I think we over internalize too much. Um, but it's that overstimulation too, because we receive so much and then we try to figure it out.
Hmm.
But your videos, just know, for me, have helped me. So again, thank you.
Well, you know what? And hearing you say that and seeing a lot of the comments that I get, because I do read all of my comments and try to respond to everybody that takes the time out. It might take me a day or two if I miss them,
Yeah,
but it means a lot to me because it was actually a very, very scary thing. And when I started that particular TikTok page, like I said, I was planning on, launching my t-shirt line like in a couple of weeks. And that's not even what I was going to talk about. Like, I just wanted to make t-shirts about, dope vibes, because initially that was the name of the page was, statement tees with dope vibes. And I was like, I don't know how to be dope. And so like the very first time that I ever like posted a TikTok, it was just like, it was a joke, but I just wanted to see like what it felt like to actually like put myself out there like that. And I didn't say anything, and it was just like a slow zoom on my face, and it was like, okay, what have I gotten myself into by wanting to, actually be on TikTok? And really, I think the first few videos on my page, I didn't even, outside of that one, really even put my actual thoughts into it. A lot of it was quotes, inspirational type of quotes, or, quotes about introverts. I didn't really give like my actual opinion about it.
yeah,
And it, again, when I was thinking, okay, I want to do something that's really dope and that's really fly, but that's really not me, and that's really not something that I could speak about or talk about or really even relate to. I like cute things. I like statement t-shirts that have, dope
yeah,
things on them. But that's really not what I know and understand. And what I know and understand is how I feel. And what I didn't know was that there were so many people that had the same feelings that I had. And so it's really encouraging, when people tell me that they enjoy my content or they enjoy the topics of my content, because sometimes I'll post something and I'll be like, ooh, I probably shouldn't have posted that, but
now you should have. No, you should have. Yes, you should have.
Sometimes I'll post it and I'll be like, I'm gonna put that one on private. I'm gonna take that one.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Like I had commented on one of yours. I was like, because I was drinking. I think I was drinking coffee or something, and all of a sudden I read what it is you posted. I was like, because I was laughing, because I was like, yes, that's it, and I caught myself choking. I was like, this chick, she gets it. She gets it. But it was great. It was a great moment. I was like, thank you, Lord. Like I really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate
The
that.
content is so great, and so, I'm gonna go for it and then come back. So that kind of leads into how long have you been working on your T-shirt brand, and is it centered around being an introvert?
Well, I actually picked this particular subject, I would say maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I've been working on it since May,
Okay.
and I haven't picked a specific launch date at this time because I've tested a few things, and I kind of, I'll wear it and I'll see, okay, what kind of response does that get? Okay, maybe that doesn't really strike an emotion. So, I want it to be right. And, but at the same time, even though that was my first intention with starting the page, like to me, it's more than the brand itself. Like it's more of me wanting to build a community and a safe space. So even if nobody ever buys a t-shirt, I still want to have that community and that connection with people, and to let people know that, what they're experiencing is not something that's bad, it's not something that they should beat themselves up about, and that they should really just learn how to embrace, the way that God
Hmm.
made.
I don't know. Maybe it would even help introverts from different states and cities and everything be able to connect with each other, because it's hard. And I'm going to say it from my perspective, a lot of times it is hard for us to form close friendships
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because people don't understand how we process things. And it's not, you guys hear me, it's not that we don't want friendships. As a matter of fact, we crave friendships. Really, we really do. But they have to be the right friendships. And it's not that we're being picky, but it is a delicate balance between, yeah, we can talk to you, and today we just need to listen to you.
Right.
Right? Hey, this is your open space. Today you can talk all you want, because introverts make some of the best listeners.
I agree. And I think that introverts make some of the most loyal friends. And I've I
Say
have
that.
that I think we're loyal friends. But I feel like honestly, like as I've gotten older, I don't know that maybe it's gotten worse or not, but I definitely feel like it has become more difficult for me to make friendships than when it was when I was younger. And like you said, establish those bonds and connections with people. It's definitely getting older because I mean gotten more difficult because I have a hard time letting people into my space. And it's like I
Yeah.
said, it's probably more in my head where I'm thinking, okay, this is awkward, but yeah.
I I feel like there's sometimes whereas it's difficult to let people in, but at times when we really need to talk to people, we really need to talk to people.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm going to try to break that down so that people can understand. There are times when we don't necessarily need to talk to people, but if it's somebody we're close with, we'll call them up and we'll conversate. And but there are times where we need to talk to people
Hmm.
in order to either help us process or in order to help us to rejuvenate. So this goes to needing those close friendships, is understanding, like, if we text and then we call and we text again, we may not even know what it is that we want to conversate about. It's just at that moment we need that connection
Hmm.
at that moment.
Hmm.
So we're not trying to drain people. It's just that internally we're needing to recharge or we're just needing to release. So, hey, you got 5, 10 minutes, just need to talk. That's it. And because we don't talk to a lot of people, I think sometimes if we reach out, people are just like, oh, well, they don't really have anything to talk about, so we'll get back with them later. And it's like, no, like I really need to talk. Like, it's not necessarily about something serious. I mean, it is not. It's not necessarily that I'm going through something. It's just like at this moment, if you got 5 minutes, then I need to talk. Um, so I'll tell you what, let's take a quick break real quick. And what I would like to do is show people a couple of your t-shirt uh, concepts and let people know that what you got going on. So you guys sit tight and enjoy these shirts, and we'll be right back.
All right. Yes, and excuse my parents and my busted road. Don't come for me in the comments, y'all. But yes, I agree. It's like we just aren't allowed to just sit in the space and be to ourselves. We're expected to be entertaining somebody, talking to somebody, adjusting our facial expressions to make other people feel comfortable. I don't understand that. I really don't. I just want to be. Even if I'm out in public, sometimes I just want to be left alone. I just want to say hi and just keep it moving. I don't mean any harm by it.
Welcome back, you guys. I hope that you like what you saw and that you will be ready to place your order. So, with that being said, when do you see the t-shirt collection launching? Like, when are you going to be ready to go?
I am shooting for like the end of October or the first part of November. I'm still working around the
Okay.
part. Yeah. I have
Okay. So,
some.
can people go to your website to get updates on when
They
you're releasing
can
it?
definitely go to the website, and there's a you just go to the website, and it's selectivesocialwear.com, and you
Hmm.
can put your email address in, and then I'll have the email address, and then as I get the website ready and start to launch, everybody will get an email letting them know that they can go and look at what's on there. It'll be I'm going to start kind of small, so there won't be like a huge selection just yet, but I'll have
Yeah.
drops every couple of weeks to add to the collection. So yes, definitely get on the email list, and I'll probably have some sort of coupon or incentive for like the first 30 people that are actually on the email list to give them a thank you from me to even joining my list. So
All right, you guys. I am signing up today because yeah. And it's funny because doing your videos, like, and I like to read the comments too because again, I think it's therapeutic. And then it's like you would do a video or someone will say something and they'll go like, "Yeah, that's a T-shirt." Like people are just throwing T-shirt ideas
yes,
at me now, and I think the great thing about that is that it you're visualizing what we're thinking. Like I was like, yeah, I need a shirt that says "Hush, I'm an introverted." Because
yeah,
it's like you're trying to talk to me, and if it's a day where I know I have to be social, but I'm not recharged yet, then I need you to hush.
hmm
Understand? I'm introverted. You're not gonna get that 30-minute conversation from me that you're wanted. No, nothing is wrong. I'm not mad at anybody. Nobody made me. Nobody hurt me that day. Hush. I'm introverted. I'm still trying to trying to recharge, y'all. Like just
yeah.
give me some time.
Yes, I have one that's kind of similar to that, but I like the hush on it because that is like, that is very bold, effective, and to the point.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
and
Yes, ma'am.
that's the part that I've kind of been struggling with. How do I put this statement down to where it's just like, bam? I have one that says, I said hi, but I didn't necessarily want to conversate. Um, And then there's another one that's like, do not disturb my alone time for your
Mm,
safety. Although I'm not
thank
sure if I
you.
put the or for your safety part on there because somebody was like, "Oh, that's mean," and I was like, "Okay, well,
I don't know. I don't think it's mean. I'm like, for your safety, because if you keep pressing me and then I say something and you think I'm being aggressive, well, now you're offended. But I just told you. Like, again, we're very direct. You
yes,
know, we are to the point, and if you get it, you get it. But if you don't,
yes,
just understand. I may say something in a way you may not like it.
yes." And I even have another one that I'm ordering a sample on this one, and I was like, I don't know about this one, but we'll see. I'll just put it on and see what anybody thinks about it, if anything." And it's like, I'm kind of quiet, but I'm kind of hood, also. So it's like, don't.
Ooh, ooh, yeah, I'm about that one. Like, I'm about that one. Like, beware.
So it's kind of like I'm not a killer, but don't push me there. But I'm pretty
Yeah,
easy, but just don't. But yeah,
yeah, I need that one. So you might as well just go online to that one. Just put that one out there. Right? Just,
I got that one coming next week, and I have some
yeah,
content I use around that one. And I was like, that's me right there, kind of
yes,
quiet,
please.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. Just understand what you're getting yourself into, sir, ma'am. Just
Mhm.
understand that.
Yeah, yep.
So
Kind of
yeah,
like the one.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah, I saw this shirt a while ago. It was like, what did it say? I match energy, so you decide how we're gonna act today. But yeah, I forget who makes that one.
Yeah,
I think it's like on T-shirt, but I was like, that's it right there.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
sometimes, depending on how much interaction I've had, I can't match the energy, and I typically retreat away from it though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because you can, like, the other person can have a high energy, and I'm like, I don't have it in me today. I can't be level 10 with you today. Like, I
Right.
can't. So, I'm gonna go outside by the pool, like, just relax, just have a
Yeah.
moment.
I listen. I understand, and the odd anonymity about me is that I've worked in the healthcare field. This
Mm,
is into my 17th year with
mm,
in direct patient care, and even and I typically have to work with patients for 30 minutes to an hour straight.
mm.
You know, having to come up with treatment plans and which I haven't been able to work as much now because I have a special needs daughter. But coming up with those things for an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, and when they would schedule me with somebody for an hour and a half, that would just kill my soul because I would say, "What am I going to do? What am I going to say? What am
Yes.
I going to talk about?" So after all of those interactions, by the time I would come home, I had nothing left, you know, for my family. I didn't have a whole lot of conversation because my brain was just overloaded and over.
Mhm.
But a lot of times in between patients, I find myself, and I didn't even realize, years ago that what I was doing is I would go in the bathroom. I wouldn't even be using the bathroom, but I would just go in there and just kind of, gather myself and then come back out, put the mask back on and just be like, okay,
Yeah.
now I'm back to, social Tomica, and I don't think that people realize that that is a for real struggle for people that are, true introverts. That, yeah,
Yeah.
we can function in jobs and we can function in social gatherings. A lot of times we don't prefer to, but you have to in order to navigate through
Yeah.
life. But
Yeah.
it does come at a cost.
Yeah. And I've had times where I've had to be in large groups of people, and and having to be engaging because either I'm the speaker or something like that, and I'm engaging, and then I'll walk away and go have a seat, and someone would come up to me and it's like, "Why are you sitting back here? What's wrong? Like, what happened? You were just up there." And they don't get, like, I expanded all my energy, so I had to pull back for a
Mhm.
minute to take some deep breaths and to get myself together to understand that I have to go right back up there and be energetic again. And it it comes off, and I want to word this carefully because some people will be like, "Yeah, that's it. That's how y'all." sometimes it may come off as if we're being bipolar. We are not that at all.
Mm-mm.
It just drains us to where as we're tired. Like sometimes during the day we're so tired where we could take a quick power nap to recharge. We're that tired. And then we
Yes.
have to wake up and ease back into it. So it's not a bipolar thing, guys. This is more of a very much is an energy thing of just being drained. So when people come sit beside me, I was like, look, I just need a minute. Like I know that's what's expected of me. So I know I gotta speak and I know I have to engage. But just give me 5 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes so I can get myself back together. Then I can do what it is I need to do to finish the task. But guess what? After that, I'm gonna need to peel back again. I'm gonna need some time.
It's true. And if I ever like had a patient that really didn't want to talk, I'm like, oh, say less.
It's like score,
We're
yes,
good.
right, yes,
Just do
yes.
this.
I would. We only have like a few minutes left, but there's one topic I want to make sure that I get in. And got a couple of things, but there's one thing that I really, really want to get in that I think, and I don't know. I think it's more toward this one was more going to towards going to help the women, but I don't know how many men are going to struggle with what I'm talking about because it actually came from a male's perspective. And I'm going to say that, but you guys, if you watch this and you have maybe questions or comments, please feel free to email me. But I saw a TikTok video, and there was this man who was standing by the window, and he says, and it had to do with relationships. He said, never date an introvert because they're too hard to love. And I started reading through the comments, and comment after comments was like, yeah, stay away from introverts, or yes, um, it's too much work, it's too much effort. And I was so surprised because this one video had over 1,000 and something comments, and the majority of the comments were saying that about introverts. And I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I was like, are we really that hard? Is it really that difficult to be in a relationship? And I'm saying that because I'm single. So
Mhm.
within that, I want to ask you, how did you meet your husband, and was dating difficult? Did he think it was difficult to date or to love you?
That is a really good question. And I'm going to go with yes, he probably
Mm,
does. But it took us a long time to get to, some common ground and understanding. And we actually met um, through some mutual friends.
okay.
He is very much an extrovert, very much the exact opposite of me. If he stays home, like he is climbing at the walls trying to get out. Gets energy from being around people and being social. And so, we've always had that conversation like, okay, we go to your family functions and you always leave me because you're like talking and you're all over the place. And I used to get so upset about it. And um, so and then the thing with being at work and having to give all of my energy to patients and interacting with other coworkers, that by the time when I came home I needed some time to kind of regroup and recharge. But at that time when we first got together, I didn't really realize what was happening because you know 15 years ago nobody was really talking about being an
Right,
introvert or the
right.
quality or characteristics of that. So I really didn't understand what was
Mhm.
what was happening. And so yes, there was a source of contention in our relationship because he could not understand why I reacted that way or why I needed, some alone time and just really didn't understand the concept of it. So actually by me having the TikTok and him going back and watching my videos, because I rarely ever do it when anybody's here.
Right.
so,
I get that. I so get that. Yes,
so
ma'am.
now he's kind of like, well, okay, I can visually see what it is that you're trying to tell me, how you feel now. And so I would say that it can be a source of contention, with introverts being in relationships, or finding, someone that's going to understand what it is that we go through.
Oh, I'm glad you expounded on that. I'm going to add on to that. Towards even though it may be difficult, I would say for maybe those men are looking for relationships, it is worth it. And I'm going to say it and backtrack on something that we said. For us as introverts, we are loyal. We are very loyal. Matter of fact, we are loyal to a fault
Hmm.
because sometimes we are loyal to our own detriment because we would take so much. Like, you really have to do some extreme stuff to get us to back away from a situation.
A lot of times, yeah.
Yeah, because once we care, and that's it. Because it takes so long for us to be close to someone
Mhm.
that we want to keep that closeness. So we will put up with a lot of stuff before that switch flicks. But once it flicks, that's it, y'all. Like,
Yeah, lights off.
lights off. We done. We finished and we done. And people think that we're being heartless, and it's like not that. But if you've poured all of our energy towards we have nothing left to give, then we simply have nothing left to give.
Yep.
Right?
Protect, protect the energy. I think that
Yeah,
is mission
yeah.
number one.
So yeah, definitely. If you're not connected with her on TikTok yet, please be connected to her. And what I would like you to do in closing, Tamika, is give all of your social media handles. Like, how can people connect with you? Email, give your website again. Like, any information that people can to reach out to you. Just drop that on us real quick.
Okay. So my socials are pretty much the same. On TikTok, it's the selective social, which is it's all one word. On Instagram, it's the underscore selective social. I have a Facebook business page, but I don't actually have a Facebook page. But really,
Okay.
TikTok and Instagram are going to be the best ways to reach out to me because I check those a little bit more frequently than I do my email, and I do need to get my business email set up
Yes,
real quick.
please. And then that way, if people have, because some people they're still not on TikTok, but I think if they have any questions or something that they need to send you, then that'll
Yeah.
be great too.
They can also try Tomica Tomica. I don't know how to spell my name underscore G at hotmail.com, which is I can check that one as well. If they really don't have social media and they still want to be able to contact me, they can contact me there as well.
All right. Thank you so much. I am looking forward to future conversations with you because, again, I think this is going to help a lot of people.
I hope
So,
so. I hope so. Well, it's
yes,
definitely helped me, and I've really enjoyed this conversation. This has been really so much fun for me today.
thank you. Thank you. And again, thank you for accepting my invite.
No
Yeah,
problem.
yes. So, you guys, tune in for the next episode of Danielle Speaks. If you have not been to the website yet, I still have to update it, but you can still go to download all my music for free. I'll have the links on there for other podcasts that I've done. Um, everything that you need is on the website, daniellespeaks.com. And until next time, just keep loving each other and be a blessing to somebody today. God bless.
Say it again. Whatever.
And from me, myself, and
Me, myself, and I. That's all I got. A win is a win. It's a win.